able to show the Whelping Room and where the magic happens. So we are here in the Whelping Room today. We're going to walk you through our equipment and how we use it. And breeding season is coming up in May. We are going to be breeding Lily, Bella Vista's Italian Lily, to Patent del Fracasso. We are going to be breeding Bella Vista's Sweet New England Rain to Patent del Fracasso. We are going to be breeding Bella Vista's Gotta Have Faith to Bella Vista's Bossman Bruno's Prodigy. And we're going to try Kiana del Fracasso to Patent del Fracasso. So, let's show you some equipment. This is Chris's Entertainment Center that I commandeered for my equipment, okay? This is our progesterone machine where we are able to come in here and log all of our girls' information. And we have progesterone tests here. We draw blood, we spin it down here in the mini centrifuge. We extract the serum. We add a buffer. And this sits on a clean, dry, flat surface. We slide it into the little receptacle here and run a standard test. And we set the timer. And 15 minutes later, we get to find out our progesterone number on our girl. I can tell you, breeding dogs really comes down to a science. I know, and it bothers me that all the backyard breeders just put dogs together and they produce all these puppies. We do not do that. We are not a puppy mill. We breed very exclusively to exclusive lines that are not here in the United States. We have gone to great lengths to make sure we are producing nothing but the finest old world European Mastiff here at home in the United States. So what you'll find in here is progesterone tests, AI rods, our receptacle for syringes, the needle part, timers, semen extender up here, clippers, because you always have to make sure the area is clipped appropriately. We keep thermometers in here, a couple of different kinds, because this machine needs to stay at least 72 degrees to function properly. And we never use this unless we test the lasers prior to use every single time. We do a quick test. We slide in the proper stick that goes in here. This chip is for every box of progesterone tests you get. It has its own quality control strip chip that goes in the progesterone machine. This machine here is the Wanfo Fine Care Vet Plus. We've had it for about 3 years. They're a little pricey, but I can tell you that with the price that vets charge for progesterone tests, this thing paid for itself in the first season. So that's what you find in here. You'll find directions if someone is helping me. You'll find some other little directions here. We have whelping charts to tell you that, to tell us that when we breed, what that projected whelp date will be, so that we have all that information up front. This here is the chart for the progesterone machine that tells us what the number is for how close we are to ovulation. And then we usually AI 48 hours into ovulation. Now, last year, and I have told some of you and been very transparent that Kiana del Fracasso, the daughter of Viola and Urano in Italy, her cervix is tilted. So it has been very difficult to get her in pup. And last season, we went ahead and purchased an endoscope And it looks brutal, but I can tell you it is not. This basically is a camera and a rod. I am able to come in here, and the AI rod goes through here, into here, comes out the end here. The camera allows me to gently go in, navigate the cervix. It shows me that it's pink, it's healthy, there's no pooling, there's no schmegma, the fluids are clear, and everything is healthy. There's no scar tissue, because people don't realize every time, the human body, the female human body, is really created to produce and procreate. So when we miss a girl, or she comes into a heat, and we either don't breed her or we breed her in unsuccessfully, we run the chance of brucellosis or pyometria. And so this endoscope is really, and this one, now there's different models on Amazon. This is not the cheap model. You can buy them anywhere from $250 up to about, I think, $600. I paid just about $900 for this. It comes with the charger and the case and the protective case here. And to me, this is invaluable, because not only for Kiana, but you never want to breed any female unless you know she's healthy. Now, again, these are not plug-and-play devices. As you can see, that is a stainless steel rod. You can injure a female very easily if you use it incorrectly. So, and going to your vet and saying, hey, I purchased an endoscope, may not go over that well, because vets want you to be sort of, what should I do? Just tell me whatever. Just do whatever you have to. And then you get the bill at the end of the day. Vets really don't like people like me that have been in the field, in the medical world. I've been in about 35 years. And as I've said, my friend is a large animal neurosurgeon. We have done a lot with horses, dogs, cattle, cows, pigs, dogs, you name it, we've done it. So what I would caution you is, if you are thinking about any of this equipment, you should find a good mentor that's been in the field a long time, that has gone to the school of hard knocks, that knows what they're doing, because this is not a plug-and-play device. You could rupture something very, very easily. So this is the plan for Kiana. I am looking forward to that. I am not going to advertise that. I'm not going to allow anybody to potentially go to the paid waiting list that I do on the other litters, because I have been unable to get her in pup thus far. So I am going to do this quietly and discreetly at home. I will videotape it for my own purposes, but I am not going to broadcast that because you don't need to know. So this is the endoscope here. Like I said, don't be fooled by the $250 ones on Amazon, or even, the $300 ones. Don't be fooled into thinking these are plug-and-play devices. They are not. And you really can injure your dog and the only thing they should be used for is endoscopic type things. You don't want to be putting this anywhere that you shouldn't. So, moving on from the endoscope, it stays here in its safety case. Here is where we write contracts. Nobody's allowed in the whelping room. Once we have bred, you must wear booties, you must sanitize your hands, and whatnot. Now, one more second. The thing about that endoscope is it allows me to go in around the cervix to the mouth of the uterus, what we call the cul-de-sac. I'm able to back off about 2 inches, deposit the semen, which will sit for about 48 hours before it makes its way up to where it needs to go. Another tool that we have here in the Whelping Room, again, these are not plug-and-play devices. Here are the AI rods to the endoscope. I keep it safe. And this is really just a pool cue case. And it's the perfect solid holder for what this next tool is. This is called the Mavic 400, also used, we utilize this for Kiana, and I will show you very quickly. It's very, very soft, very soft. We keep this here backed off for air. We can then come in here. I usually use a bigger syringe than this, but I will collect my boys. I will put it under the semen analysis microscope, be able to see. We're looking for three things when we check semen. I'll explain it again when I show you the semen analysis microscope. We are looking for viability, meaning live sperm, motility, meaning they are on a mission, and we want to see good, strong sperm that are fighting through each other. We don't want to see sperm going around in circles, and we don't want to see, the next thing we're looking for is morphology. The morphology are the heads, the spines, and the tails. I can see that on the semen analysis microscope, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. Those three things are critical. Now, most vets will tell you that seeing out of, all the semen that you're seeing on your screen, seeing 20% dead is okay and normal. We don't really feel that. If we see 5 dead out of 400 billion or whatever, we think that's okay. But what I can tell you is our boys, Gage, when he was alive, Patton and Bruno all have excellent semen. Those three things. Viability, meaning they are alive. Motility, meaning they are strong, and I call them smart. We have smart sperm here. They're fighting their way through each other, and it looks like, Grand Central Station or a subway down in New York. Very strong, very smart sperm that know they're on a mission. Why is that important? Because I am going to be implanting them in a space that they need to figure out how to get up to the horn, to where they need to go. So without getting in too graphically. So our boys have that. I frequently test them under the microscope. And so we've got the sample. This is not the syringe I would use because our boys actually give us quite a bit more than 10 cc's. Now, you also can spin your semen down. I have a large centrifuge in the other room or back here and a larger mini centrifuge. So I can spin semen in here and concentrate it and put it with semen extender, put it in my syringe, and then come in here. And basically I've got the semen in here. This is called the Mavic 400. Again, not a plug-and-play device. I want to come in. I can tell by the length of my hands. This all has to be disinfected again after this anyway. This is the Mavic 400. I'm able to get in, go around, come up. I can tell by the length of my hands after all these years where I need to be. Once I get to the point where I can't go any further, which is the cul-de-sac, I know to back off about an inch or two. I am able to come in slowly. You never want to do this quickly. You are slowly depositing the semen. You don't want to break the heads. You don't want to break the tails. You are slowly and steadily depositing the semen. Now, here's the cool thing about this. Then we are able to come in and simulate a natural tie. Do you see that? This simulates a natural tie. Now, this piece of equipment runs about $70 plus shipping. It must be sanitized. They tell you they're single use. I've had this about 2 years and I know how to sanitize it, and I'm not going to instruct you how to do it. You will have to figure that out or call the company or whatnot. So this is an invaluable piece of equipment here. Again, they are not plug and play devices. So I am not going to instruct you beyond what I just told you. Okay. So now this goes back in the pull cue case, wrapped up in sanitary stuff, sanitary tissue. These are the AI rods that I'm able to use with the endoscope. Moving on, I want to show you over here. This is the refrigerator, little tiny refrigerator here. And I keep saline solution in there I can use as a flush. I can keep anything that requires refrigeration. Again, I keep timers in all corners of the room, because having this room stay at 72 year-round, whether or not I breed, is really important to the equipment that I use. Now, this little, one of my favorite pieces of equipment is the Aeolus 1803 incubator. I did a demo for Canine P4 for this, and they paid me to promote it. And so the price of this incubator runs just about $3,000, and they paid me to run a video, a training video for them, and to show all of the things this does. So it's whisper quiet. My granddaughter Avery had her little stuffed animals in here. They were put in the dryer, so they're sanitary. I think it's adorable. My granddaughter Avery loves when she's here to see the incubator with her little stuffed animals in it that are sanitary, and then I sanitize it before I use it. So this here is also a NICU air mask, oxygen mask. We have a oxygen concentrator here so this Aeolus 1803, well now, the Aeolus 1803, that's nothing important, incubator has heat. It has a humidifier and a nebulizer attached to it, and I am able to run oxygen. So I have we have an oxygen concentrator here. It's called Respironics. It goes in yearly for evaluation, and they test it real good, then they recertify it. So that is the Aeolus 1803 incubator. There is nothing wrong with once puppies have whelped and we put them on mom for a few minutes. We like to put them in the incubator for about 10-15 minutes. The oxygen, birth is hard. So the oxygen really brings them around. It makes them a little feisty. It clears out any liquid that may have come into their lungs through the birth. And so it's wonderful. And I have built them over the years, by the way, with Tupperware containers and brooder lamps and all that stuff with oxygen and a nebulizer. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But for the quality of dog we are breeding here, it's very important to be as professional as possible. I've had a doctor tell me, boy, you could have a baby in that whelping room. You might even be able to have brain surgery. All joking aside, having good equipment really sets you up for success. So here we have the Omax lab microscope. I have used this for about 10 years. Again, I'm 30 years in the field here, but I upgraded to this one here about 10 years ago, and I love it. Then here is the semen analysis microscope. This is wonderful because it actually gives me you can't tell, but I have a graph on here where I can measure how many semen per billion that I have here. This, I'm able to zoom in, I'm able to hook it up to a laptop or the big screen TV over here. I'm able to check the three things: viability, motility, and morphology. I have literally, when I see a screen like this, and by the way, you never artificially inseminate any female without checking the semen just prior to insertion. I don't care if it's your dog. I don't care if you did it a month ago. I don't care if you know everything you think you should know. It's just good practice to never artificially inseminate any female without taking a few minutes to put a slide here and check viability, motility, and morphology. The morphology is checking the heads and the spines and the tails. You don't want to see sperm going around in circles. You want to see them, like I said, you want to really see good, strong, smart sperm. So I'm a little bit of a geek. If you don't like that terminology, I'm sorry, but for me, good, strong, I feel like our sperm is really smart. So, and again, Patton is 5, Bruno is 2. These are the things I will be looking for. When I check semen under this microscope, I can see protein. I'm not just looking for those 3 things, viability, motility, and morphology. I'm also looking at protein in the semen because that tells me the dog has too much protein. I can also test urine with this here. I can test fecal matter. We do a weekly fecal test right here on the puppies. We scoop together puppy poop and we put it here under the microscope. I'm able to see Giardia or Coccidia, anything, any parasite. So we've been blessed. We've never had it. We don't want it. But believe me, being proactive, is really your best tool. So here we have blankets getting ready. I will wash all these, get them ready for whelp. Every year we buy all new blankets for the whelping box. In the other room, in great big Tupperware containers, I have age-appropriate toys and little things for puppies to do. And so we will show that later on, the things that we feed on, things that can be disinfected, the scales that we use. So let me just work my way around here. You can see the TV is on. And after we do our artificial insemination here, because our boys are too big, we really don't want our girls holding them for the duration of a tie, which can be every bit of 20 minutes. We just feel like it's too hard on the girl's hips, and ties can injure the boy. Natural ties can actually injure your boy, and you really don't want to do that. So the semen analysis microscope can be hooked up to this TV, and then on the 30-day point, we will come in here and ultrasound. This is the KX5600 that we purchased from Catherine Stowell in the UK. It is, as you can see, all set up here with a ultrasound gel, our cloths that are absorbent. Sometimes I use white cloth, sometimes I use yellow. Really makes no difference as long as they are clean and sanitary. This here, as you can see, is hooked up to the TV. So when it comes time for us to do at 45 days, we usually do an ultrasound. You'll be able to see your sacs. We have a OB program in the ultrasound machine, so we will be able to show heart rate and, all that good stuff. So, what do you think of that? This is the KX5600. I know there's lots. This is my 3rd one. I like this. Again, it sounds good having an ultrasound machine, but also not a plug-and-play device. You're not going to be able to just do what you're doing and breed, and then all of a sudden you think if you put the gel on the wand and you put it on the girl, you're going to be able to identify everything. You really have to know how to identify sacs, viable sacs, what is not bowel, what is not intestine, what different colors mean, what white means, what black means. And once you become good at it, it's an amazing tool and you will enjoy it very much. But this machine right here runs a couple of $1,000s. At the time we bought it, it was around, well, Catherine gave us a discount because we bought a lot of stuff from her, so we were able to do a little bit of a deal with this here. I think we paid about $2,200 or $2,400, and that's not a hugely expensive ultrasound machine, but it does the same thing as all the other better ones. So moving on from that, this is the whelping box. We usually have a wooden one with a wooden floor. We have commercial cushion floor under here, or linoleum as you'd call it, because it allows me to disinfect. It has a pig rail. I can tell you for mastiffs, the puppies is not the way to go. I bought this in a pinch because the other whelping box we had for about 10 years, and it was just time to let it go and put it up in the bonfire. And so this will last us this season, and then next breeding season we're going to build something again like you guys have seen in the past. And so again, the ultrasound machine, cloths, ultrasound gel. We keep a couple of things here for dirty towels. This is where also the cords to the ultrasound machine fall. My clippers, a million puppy collars from newborn all the way up to 9 weeks. Whatever color you choose at the time you go to Puppy Reserve or to be on our paid wait list, you'll choose your collar color, and then that color stays on your puppy till take home. The reason we do that is sometimes we have children in families that are waiting for their puppy, and we just find it so much easier to just say the white collar puppy is ours. So when I do a photo shoot, your child or your grandchild doesn't have to say which puppy is ours. They can just look down and see turquoise or green or pink or white. So these things do not stay in here when we whelp. And I do have magnetic, sticker push tap lights where I am able to come in here and view puppies while mom is sleeping. And so this is a little caddy that if I have to go and draw blood on a dog that is not here, I do not allow outside dogs here at my home. I have been asked to do ultrasounds for other breeders in this area, and I've been asked to draw blood, and I only do that in certain cases. And I have met people down at the local hotel room and drawn blood and artificially inseminated for them. But I am very picky who I do that for, and, whatever. So, cotton balls, alcohol swabs, my clipper case right here. These things do come out of here when we have a litter. And so, here, I'm not going to be able to turn this on. Here is our board. This shows progesterone. The NG, which is for the United States, MOL would be for Britain. So these tell us from day 1 of heat. We usually start testing around day 5, what her number is around day 9, ovulation, and then we start to breed. We AI here, right around this point here. Usually it's around day 12, 13, and then here's where you would do a surgical. With that endoscope, you are doing the closest thing to a trans-cervical insemination that you can get. But again, it's pricey, and it's not a plug-and-play device, and I would suggest trust your vet. I'm not advising anybody on anything because it's not a plug-and-play device. So here we are able to check the temperature of the whelping box at all time. The first 10 days to 2 weeks of birth, we are doing every couple of hours, checking body temperature, checking the temperature in the whelping box, on the floor, on the sides. We have heating pads that we bring in here. This register, this heat register, this room has to be on 95. That's why we have curtains blocking this room in. We close the blinds. We keep this room sealed off. The temperature of a whelping room needs to be 95 that first week, 10 days, and then you can go 85, 80 as the weeks go on. So this right here is a great tool. This is called a Kaizen, and they're pretty much all standard. You're able to check, and you should be checking before you whelp. So that's that. Got to have good thermometers, always on standby here. Stay there. So I was looking for my stethoscope. So in here, we are looking at, I have a fetal Doppler. I'm able to check mom's heart rate while in utero, while pups are in utero. I am able to locate puppies because mom's heart rate and puppy's heart rate are different. So then I come in here. It's just like your OBGYN has to check for fetal heart rate when you have a baby. You always want to make sure going into whelp that you have good batteries in all of your pieces of equipment. So you also want to have, these are, this is a tube feeding syringe, and I have mine already marked. This is called a 5 French. It has a little NICU line that's able to go in, and you measure. Now again, I'm not instructing and I'm not mentoring anyone, but when this goes in, you only want to measure to the last rib of the puppy. You do not want, because you can go into the lungs very, very easily. Again, sounds easy to tube feed a puppy, but you can go into the lungs. These are not plug-and-play devices. You should have a good mentor that will take the time to work with you. So that's the tube feeding. And again, you should be mentored, and someone should show you. And sometimes tutorials on YouTube are not the way to go. This here is called the Dealy trap. I have a couple. If you're breeding, every breeder should have at least a couple of them, and I sanitize this all the time. It has the NICU line that I'm able to go in and suction out the nose, and I'm able to suck here, and whatever is in the nose or the lungs, I can get into this receptacle here. So there's a little hole. You basically go in, and if there's any fluid in the nose from whelp, or maybe they've nursed, and some comes back up, they can get a little crappy in their nose, you can go in and simply suction them out. Now, I also have bulb syringes and a couple of other things that are important. Just stay this way for a minute. And so, I guess I was showing somebody my doctor's stethoscope, and I must have placed it down. It's okay. Oh, here it is right here. Now, there are Walmart brand of stethoscopes. I have a couple of different ones. The Walmart brand stethoscope for $20 is not good because you get outside noise. Having and investing in a medical grade doctor's stethoscope allows you to get clear knowledge when you're checking heart rates or checking puppies' lungs. So here, after puppies are born, not only can I use this in utero, but here's how cool this is. And this is like 30 years in the field, you get to learn a thing or two. After puppies are born, they come into the exam table. I'm not going to turn this on because it's so bright. This is a changing pad here, changing table and receiving blankets. I'm able to put a little tiny dab of gel, right on the chest of the puppy, and then I come in here and I can check my math. Okay? So you'll notice I'm in scrubs from the time I start AIing. Once I know that I have AI'd and we're looking forward to that 30 days to be able to test, I always have a watch on my scrubs. I've ruined so many good sweatshirts and jeans over the years with bodily fluid and semen and blood from drawing. 30 years, I prefer to be in scrubs from start to finish. I always have a watch on my pocket so that I'm actually able to check heart rates. And again, having a good stethoscope is pretty well priceless. So now you've seen my fetal Doppler, you've seen the stethoscope, you've seen the temperature thing. Having a good medical grade thermometer is important. You never want to feed a cold puppy. Never feed a cold puppy. You never want to tube feed a cold puppy. All puppies should be warm at the time they nurse. Warm them up, put them in the incubator, and whatnot. Trying to make sure I show you everything. Here, I take notes. I might say what date that I did the first fecal test here in the whelping room. I may write down a puppy's weight. I may put your name or the puppy's name, or you've told me the puppy's name, and I just write it down. And so, yeah. So, this right here, after the puppy's eyes open and the ears have opened, this is basically an otoscope that you can see in any doctor's office, and it allows me to go in, make sure the ear is correct. First thing, at whelp, you're checking for that cleft palate. We've never had it, but every time we must check. So the otoscope is important to have. Comes with a neat case. I'm able to check eyes. I'm able to check ears and noses with this, and gives me great information. So having an otoscope is important. Good tube feeding and the 5 French lines is important. Here's something that, it's important when milk is not quite in and puppies need to nurse. It is really important for them to get that first colostrum. So if you take 100 ml syringe and you saw the bottom off and sand it, you can make yourself a breast pump. So it's so cool. This goes over the whole areola. You don't want to pull on the nipple. You want to put this over the areola here, and then you're able to do this. Oops, sorry. You don't have to buy no fancy one. This works. And I have it, everybody knows to not throw this away. I have made them for other people, but this allows you to get milk flowing. The more puppies suck, the more milk will come down. So very important to have that. Again, this is the exam table. Your puppy gets checked, heart rate gets checked, lungs get checked every single day. Here, we keep extra KY jelly, hydrogen, rubbing alcohol in spray bottles. And I have several because sometimes I'm just picking it up and going on the run. It's important we're able to do that. Hydrogen peroxide, because if there's a scrape or anything like that, super important. And here, all dog owners should have a toothbrush for your puppies and your adult dogs. And that's what I have here. I'm able to brush my dog's teeth. Okay, we have, moving on. These are 10 ml syringes, 20 ml syringes, clips and clamps, medical grade gloves in every size, in every color. I have them in black and white and blue. Here we have syringes, more AI rods, more tube feeding stuff. This is what goes along with the progesterone machine here. you know, once we go to extract the semen and actually run the progesterone test, we need pipettes. This is a pipetter. We can talk again at some point about proper pipetting and all that. Now, once puppies are born, you can find this in any nursery like Walmart. This does work. Some people don't like them, but if your puppy gets a little milk around his nose, this suctions. It does clear that out. It's not going to get anything back here, but it really does work. And again, you want to make sure these are kept sanitary. In here, more syringes, hemostats. When you go to contract with us, it'll be important. If you tell me you want dew claws removed, I do that after birth. And it's very simple. It's like a little hangnail. The puppy never feels it. And some people choose to leave dew claws on. Some people want them removed. So here is more syringes. These are three-way valves that go with that endoscope. And so what else? Centrifuge tubes, needles, more boxes of needles and syringes up there, a container that I may have to mix, maybe goat's milk once pups start eating. We're going to talk about nutrition and how we do things here at Bella Vista English Mastiffs. And what else? Whelping blankets. And I think you've seen it all. So, again, thank you so much for joining us. Really wanted to show you what the whelping room looks like. And this is where the magic happens. So, thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It's really important. We want to make sure we're educating people the proper way to be breeding. Feel free to call us, 207-694-1200. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. It's free. It does not cost to subscribe. All you'll have to do is put in your email address. They're never going to notify you. They're not going to email you for anything to do with my channel. It's just really important to subscribe so that it tells YouTube, hey, we like what we're seeing here. This girl, you know, it's interesting. So whether or not you're getting a puppy from us now or sometime in the future, or somebody you know is getting a puppy from us, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and like our videos, and we will talk to you soon.